Hello, all of you people everywhere, all around the world, and welcome to my channel. In today's video, I will make a hinged box in clay. The clay I use is a stoneware clay, and I'm going to burn it twice. I will glaze it, and just wait for the final result. The first thing I do is I start pinching. I make a pinch pot and also roll it and squeeze the clay against my surface. I want my box to be round, almost like a bun. So I smoothen the edges. I try to make the walls the same thickness all the way through, and also the bottom. With a rolling pin, I roll out a piece of slab, and this is going to be the bottom piece. I place my pinch pot on top and draw a line around it. And after that, I will cut the edges. I want to secure it really tight, so I slip and score before I attach the bottom. Sometimes it's enough to just use water and a wooden comb, like I do right now. Other times you might need real slip, and then it's really important that the slip is made of the same clay as you use. I adjust the pieces so they look really nice together, and then I squeeze and use one of my tools to take away the extra clay. I make my box airtight, and then it's really easy to roll the edges and shape it the way you want it. I smoothen everything out, and after that it's time to start making the hinges. I use a piece of coil and I just turn it so I get a loop of the clay, and I need 3 of these for my hinges. After that, I will also make 3 pieces that sits on the front of my box to secure it with a small piece of wood. This time I use real slip because I want this to be really secured to the box. I use the same tool to cut the pieces, and with the round wooden stick, I know that my hinges will be on the right spot. So now I just need 1 more piece. some more slip and I put it in the right spot. This is actually going to be the front of my box. Now it's time to make the actual hinges that are on the back side of the box. This time I roll out a small coil, I put some slip on it, and with a small wooden stick I make a hole straight through the whole piece of coil. And then I attach the whole piece. I want to make this also into 3 different pieces, so I use a thread and I cut all the way to the box. And as you can see, I use my wooden sticks to keep the holes round and in the right spot. Time for me to plan where the lid is going to be, and also where to put the ornaments on my box. I just draw a line, I don't cut all the way through, so this box is still airtight. It's now time to make some nice ornaments on top of my box. The clay is still wet, so it's really easy to work on it. Some more lines and I'm almost done with the ornaments on this box. After that, it's time to leave it to dry for a while. The clay is a little bit too wet for cutting the lid, so I will give it 1 day before I cut. I put the wooden sticks back, but remember, when you let this dry, even the holes will shrink. 1 day has now passed, and it's time to cut the lid. I try to hold the needle tool in the same angle when I cut. This way the lid will fit perfectly even afterwards. Take your time and cut the whole way through. Notice that when I cut, I leave the middle loop, the middle hinge, so it sticks to the lid. So I cut around it, but I go up between the first and the last of the loops. And then I do the same thing on the opposite side. This way, I can lock my box with a wooden stick. And now the same thing on the opposite side. The middle hinge will be cut so it sticks to the lid. Be careful when you lift the lid so that everything is in place. After that, it's time to remove a little bit of the extra material, both inside of the box and in the lid. Don't push too hard when you use your tool, otherwise you might lose the shape. Now everything is done, so it's time to leave this to dry totally. So I place the lid on top, I put some papers in between, and then it's time to dry and bisque fire the whole thing. This box has now dried, I have bisque fired it, and it's time for me to glaze it. I want to make this box green in color, and this glaze has some beautiful effects also. The way I do it is kind of risky, because I will just pour the clay all over the box and then clean the edges. If you want to have a lid that you actually can open afterwards, it's really important that you clean the edges from the extra glazing. So when the glaze has dried, I will start cleaning the edges really well. There should be no glaze left, otherwise it will just stick to the lid in the kiln. Some glazes are runny, so you better check that the glaze you use is a glaze that doesn't run that much. Because otherwise you will have a really secret box that you can never open with a hammer. A sponge and fresh water is the best way to clean the edges. And after that, it's time to put it in the kiln and burn it the last time. This is now the finished box, and I just use some wooden sticks in the hinges. And on the front side, I have made a wooden stick that looks like a tooth. So, just by pulling the stick, you can open the lid, and the hinges on the back will keep it in place. So, there you go. I think this was a nice and fun project, and you can make a leaded box in many different sizes and shapes. And this is actually another one that I made. In this one I use a piece of leather and again some wooden sticks. Thank you really much for watching, and I hope you again get some great ideas for your projects. Bye bye.